Coming up on C-Shop TV.
We have two versions of our story of how we met.
Oh.
I was already on stage
Exactly.
for 4 or 5 years when he asked for my autograph. So,
Gotcha.
so I just signed his paper and I kept going. He said I blew him off.
She didn't sound
It's my version. It's my version.
Taj and Eddie, do you know someone who'd want to lose weight?
I know several.
Yeah, right, they do, right? Okay.
I'm Eddie George
I'm Taj George. Check us out.
on C-Shop TV.
C-Shop TV starts now.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of The C-Shop, where entertainment, business, and giving back meet to bring you the latest in celebrity news and info you won't hear anywhere else. Today we have a celebrity couple. You know him as a Heisman Trophy winner in several seasons in the NFL. You know her from the singing group SWV, and she was a popular contestant on the hit show Survivor. But today we're going to talk about some things that you may not know about them. So join me in welcoming Taj and Eddie George. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Now I know you have Twitter followers, Facebook followers. Would you like to give a shout out to them?
Oh, wow.
Sure. Hi,
Great.
everybody. This is Taj George, and you can reach me on Twitter at Taj George, TAJGEORGE, and I'm on Facebook at Taj George as well. All around.
Yeah, all my followers, they know me from college football and all that
Yeah.
good stuff. And I'm at Eddie George 27. Please follow me. I'm trying to get more followers than her at this point. I'm at 18,000. I'm trying to get up to 100,000 by the end of the year.
Yeah, I want to see a competition going on here. Wait, how high are your Twitter
I don't
followers?
even know.
Really?
But I know I have more than him.
That's all
I
that
started
matters,
late.
really?
I started late in the game. Yeah.
And he has tons of Facebook followers, but he doesn't know how to work his Facebook page.
Oh, seriously?
When it comes to social media, I'm illiterate. When it comes to that, it's tough for me to
I try to
figure out how to
keep up
loop it
there.
in, and
Yeah.
Instagram. It's so many different
Yeah,
social media.
Instagram at Taj George.
I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's surprising because you guys, I don't know that I've ever met a couple that's so well-rounded and so gifted in many different ways. I mean, you're both authors.
Yes.
You sing.
Yes.
You're
He
an
can sing a little.
architect.
I can sing a little bit.
Shall we? Do you want to sing?
No, I won't. I hadn't gone through my vocalized warm-ups.
Oh,
so.
gotcha. So now we feel like we know you because you had your reality show, and you do have a reality show coming up, which we'll reference a little bit later. So what's something we don't know about you?
Oh, wow.
Give us a little tidbit.
We don't know that Eddie is still actually 12 at heart. He and my son, they have
big
this little
kid.
thing that they do around the house. They're constantly jumping out of corners. They're constantly playing little tricks on mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we need the trick police at our house because sometimes I just want to kill them. They drive me crazy. They don't know when to stop. They're tricksters. both
It
of
never
them.
ends.
He raised my children to
No,
be tricksters.
he actually tells me what to do.
He came out knowing what to do.
Yes.
Oh.
He tells
It was
me.
in
He
the
tells.
genes.
He tells me. He goes like this. We have like a secret code where we talk in hands. You go like this.
Oh, yes.
Hide. That
right.
means hide behind the door, and when she comes,
They
attack
like
her.
to smack me on the butt. And my son, he's only 8, but he has the strength of a grown man.
Oh, really?
So when they smack me on the butt and I jump, I just want to choke him because it stings.
Oh, seriously.
And he thinks it's funny.
No, it's all good though. I love
It's of course, because
every
I'm the one getting shocked.
because that's what wives are for. She's the only girl in the
I'm the
family.
only girl.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had to get a female dog to balance things
Right,
out.
exactly.
No, she's wild. She's probably worse than
And
all
she's
of us.
on their side.
Yeah, she's a little
How's that
wild.
possible?
I said, how could you trade on the person who feeds you? She turns on me.
That's awesome. Well, you know what I always tell my husband? I'm like, I'm a gentle flower. I think sometimes guys don't realize when they're playing
Oh,
around that,
absolutely not.
we're
No,
not.
she's not a gentle
That's
flower.
what they
no,
think.
no. She's
Yes,
just as
I
rough
was
as
raised with
we are.
boys, but I have a gentle
She's
flower
just as rough
side.
as
Yes,
anybody else.
exactly. I can see that. So you you two, I'm so curious. How did you meet? I mean, because were you already doing what you're doing now, and you just?
I was technically.
Okay.
Would you like my version?
Go ahead.
Or would you
Go ahead.
We
Ladies
have
first.
2 versions of our story of how we met.
Oh.
My version is
Yes.
actually the truth, and it goes like this. We were in Florida at the Orlando Mall, the Florida Mall.
Yeah, the Florida Mall.
It's in Orlando.
Yeah.
And I was actually there with my ex-boyfriend, and he was there with Ohio State, right?
Okay.
Now,
Was
at
it? Right, it's just
At
your version.
this point, I had already sold millions of records, so he walks up to me to get an autograph.
Oh.
I was actually looking for someone, and I was frustrated with the mall was crowded. It was during Christmas. I couldn't figure out what I was doing, so I just signed his paper and I kept going. He said I blew him off.
She didn't sign
It's my
paper.
version. It's my version. So he said that I blew him off. So ironically, the next year, he had won the Heisman Trophy. He was in New York celebrating.
Wow.
I was at home kind of depressed over a breakup. And I went to this jazz club called Chaz and Wilson's in New York to just get my mind off things. And he was actually there celebrating his win.
Oh.
A girlfriend of mine introduced us again, and he told me that he had already met me a year before. And I'm thinking, you don't look like the same guy that I met in that mall. But he definitely improved. I mean, his muscles have gotten bigger.
Wow.
I guess I was able to take notice at that point.
Right. With the Heisman Trophy right now.
Right, there you
I was already on stage
Exactly.
for 4 or 5 years when he asked for my autograph. So
Gotcha.
anyway, so we talked for about 2 weeks and lost touch. And then 2 years later, we both ran into each other at a fashion show. We were both in the fashion show, were we?
No, I wasn't.
You weren't? Okay, well, I was actually just going to do the show and leave. As I was walking out of the place where we were doing this fashion show, I wanted to grab a drink before I left. As I was walking toward the bar, he was walking away from the bar. We literally bumped into each other and have been inseparable ever since. That was
Wow.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty
your
accurate.
lives were doing this kind
Yeah,
of
we
thing.
kept going back and forth. It was meant to be. He
Yeah.
was meant to be my husband.
Oh, I love that. I love that. You know, and it's when you look at celebrities these days, a lot of them have difficulty staying together. I think it's just 2 demanding careers.
It's definitely strenuous.
How do you make it work?
We
Oh,
fight.
wow.
No, I'm kidding.
It's a lot of compromise. I think what we've been able to do is really try to find a balance within our lives, because what's important for her is her career, being home as a mother.
Yeah.
Same for me, providing for the family, still pursuing my dreams, but also being there as a father and as a husband, and it's a delicate balance.
Right.
So, we found ways to really prioritize our time, saying, look, family first,
Yeah.
and spending that quality time as much as we can, whether it's 10 or 15 minutes or a few days together, and really being present around each other, because we don't know when we're not going to see each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Because literally we pass in the night. I mean, there was one time we were in the airport.
He landed at 5:20. My flight was
Yeah.
at 6:20, so we literally kissed and
Kissed and
walked
walked, and I went home. She went on about her way, and that's and it's very challenging, especially when you have children involved.
Yeah.
So, we make it work. We do the best that we can do, and having a true mission behind it all, to focus on what's the mission at hand for our family,
Yeah.
and that's to always communicate, always put each other first.
Yeah.
It helps bring everything else in
And we
alignment.
put all of that in our book, Married for Real.
Yeah.
That was the basis of writing that book. We wanted people to understand that just because you live a busy life doesn't mean it can't work. We make it work, and you can too. And if you read that book, you'll see that it's really simple if you just keep a few principles in your life.
That's the key. Principle-centered lives, that we focus on our spiritual life, our physical life, our emotional life, and our social. And that's our premise. That's our foundation. If we focus on those principles and have goals for each one of them every day, it helps us always go back to what's important, and trust the fact that our careers will flourish because we're coming from a principle-centered life. Yes.
I love that. That's good. Principle-centered life. Someone needs to use that as a tagline
You like
of some
that,
sort.
right?
Yeah, that's good.
You can't
to your
take it.
husband.
No, she can't take that.
Okay, you can have it. You can have it. Maybe I'll borrow it. I'll give you a call. Can I borrow that? I know you two are all about giving back to other people as well, and we have a couple of your supporters here that you can invite on stage now. We have Dianne Levitt and Sue Ramson, co-creators of Get Your Two Now. Get Your Two Now.
Oh, look at this. It's hard to shake all these hands. Well, how
Great
excited.
to have you.
We are such big fans, by the way. And
thank
Eddie,
you.
we're so excited. We're gonna jump on Twitter, and you're gonna have
Yes.
18,000.
I'm
There
slowly
you
and
go.
methodically
Yay.
getting there.
He has tons of sports fans.
And in your book, I wish I had that 37 years ago when I got married. I'm serious what you were saying. You know, I had to learn the hard way, but if people could get that,
Thank
that's
you
fantastic.
so much. That's how we felt. That's why we
Yeah.
wrote it. 'cause
Absolutely.
It was a process, but we made it.
Totally.
So, Dianne and Sue, get your two now. Can you explain to us what exactly that is?
Well, we're so excited about it, and thank you so much for having us. Do you know, this has really been a culmination of a lifetime, really getting to where we are. I started in the networking profession about 24 years ago, and you know, I was a starving single mom of two. And I had to make a way for myself, and I stumbled into this profession, and it was very good to me. I was able to be successful, and it was just such a thrill to not have to worry about finances. I've been so blessed that I've been able to retire, and I did so several years ago. And then I started looking around me. And you know, the first thing I noticed is no one could travel with us and go do fun things
yes.
because the economy really started to put a squeeze. And I started to really, it was personal because I saw my neighbors lose their homes, lose their businesses, have health challenges and all of these things. And the contrast of my life compared to the people that I loved most, it was a problem for me. And at the very same time, you know, the Wall Street Journal through DSN started doing publications about how direct selling it was becoming the answer to today's shrinking job market. Statistically, all of these things started happening, and I started to get this burning inside that I thought, I can help. And with the information and the experience that I had, I thought, I can make a difference. I can really come out in a different way and truly be a servant leader and help others gain what I have been able to in a unique and new approach. And of course, I couldn't do it without my partner, Sue. And so I gave her a call and said, here we go, girl. What do you think?
And that's exactly what happened. We started looking at different trends, and it was like, how do we position this? How do we move forward? And so we're talking, and I would ask you this question, and it was the same question that we asked ourselves. I said, you know, if we thought of the average American, think of 10 people that you know, and I came to you and I just said, you know, Taj, I've got some really cool stuff that I want to share with you, and tell me what you'd like to know about most. Would you like to know about a cardiovascular product? Would you like to know about a heart healthy weight loss product? Or would you like to know about a business plan that could put you on track of $3,000 your second month, guaranteed no risk?
Wow.
Guaranteed. That's amazing.
With no risk.
Which
risk.
Which one do you think? Which one?
Absolutely go for the no risk, $3,000.
Yeah, right?
And that's what got us. That's what got us down this path, because the statistics showed it too. My husband spent 20 years in the corporate arena as a senior manager, and he's always said there's no security in corporate America. So you couple all of these things here. We then started pulling things together, and we went, well, what's our unique selling proposition then? So it was based around another, what we call, Dianne coined it, magic question, because nobody says no to it. And it was a very simple question. And it was, you know, as we've having conversations and somebody is in the situations that Dianne has postured here, it was a question that just came out. Now, just Taj, just assume that we'll get you all the validation that you know, that you need, that you can trust that the company behind this does have the integrity, it does have the ability to offer this business plan and honor this guarantee. Here's the question. Would you put $345 a month to get started in a business, to get on track of $3,000 your second month, guaranteed no risk? Would you do that? Yes or no?
Guaranteed no risk? Absolutely.
I like that.
Great question.
Yeah.
It is magic.
And then the follow-up to that, do you think that together with our help, you could find two people that would say yes to that question?
I would hope I could find you.
So Dianne, there we go. That's our business plan. Now, obviously, you know, Dianne has talked and as we went back and forth and stuff, and Dianne has said so many times that, you know, you have no business if you have no real products, if you have no real infrastructure, if you have none of that. So that's what we're so excited about, because it's undergirding all of this. Our foundational products undergirding all of this are the top 2 health concerns of Americans, well, worldwide today, cardiovascular and weight loss. But yet we've made it so simple by leading in that way.
Wow.
Now, Synergy Worldwide is already established. So this is a matter of, Sue, you're helping to expand to the States. So it's already an established company. This is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So tell me about the history of the company and where you've already been. And
I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to, because this is what is unique about this particular business plan. Synergy Worldwide is a wholly owned subsidiary of the amazing company Nature's Sunshine Products. They are a 40-year-old giant in the direct selling industry. In fact, they were the first company ever to encapsulate an herbal product. So they've been voted the #1 pharmaceutical grade nutritional manufacturer in the U.S. They've been given many awards, but even financially, their financial statistics are stellar. I mean, their stock has grown 120%. They have $115 million in the bank. They manufacture Synergy's product, but they have such a core, I mean, their foundation is significant. Well, Synergy is a wholly owned subsidiary. And so I've been involved with them for almost 13 years. And so, but it wasn't always a nutrition. Synergy didn't always have nutrition. But recently we acquired a formula that is literally life-changing. And that is what is really undergirding the business plan, because as Sue said, you cannot have anything long-term unless supported by something so profound and life-changing that people will buy it again and again.
Right.
So really the history is rich. It is, we truly are blessed, and in truth, they are also the ones that allow us to have such an aggressive income model because of how strong they are.
Right.
And they are also the ones that offer 4 months guarantee. So you can get involved in this business and you can fully put your hand to it. Just go through the training, which we offer. Great training. It's so simple. You can do it on a part-time basis. It is the simplest thing ever. But after 4 months, you can evaluate, and if you don't like it, you can ship all your products back, even if you've used that first order, and you still get 100% of your money back on that product.
Wow.
So they're strong.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And the thing that was really pulling us in developing this was so that we could create something that the average person could do.
Right.
And yet they could be successful doing it on a part-time basis. That's why we've taken 16 months, hundreds of thousands of dollars to create the tools that we're giving to people free. We're giving these people these tools, QR codes, websites, and mobile sites, and all these tools free to be able to put forth this build.
Yeah.
But we're so excited as far as to be able to have something that the lay person can actually move forward with.
So, Taj and Eddie, do you know someone who'd want to lose weight?
I know several people.
Yeah, right, right? Okay.
I was messing.
Or someone who's, you know,
No, but no, she doesn't need to. She's gorgeous. Yes.
Thank you.
I read somewhere you've lost 40 pounds.
Yeah, well, you know, when I was on Survivor, actually, I did. I lost 30 pounds on Survivor, but of course, I did that starving. Then I came home and I started working out. Now, I kind of yo-yo depending on where I am. If I'm on the road, it is so stressful sometimes, and I'm a stressful eater. So I tend to snack a lot on the road. So I'll work out and lose a gang of weight at home and go out on the road and gain it right back.
Oh, you are going to love the new Slim Smart line that we introduced. It's a heart healthy line. I've owned nutrition and weight control clinics and that for many years. And what I'm excited about is that it's being introduced by a doctor that's 40 some years of experience directly working with clients in weight loss, and she's done all kinds of studies and working in Harvard and knows all the stuff that way. And so the thing that I like about it is it's very focused, very focused at the masses, and your travels and all of that kind of a thing. Yeah,
You know what?
It's great.
If I can just say, when I travel, I lose weight on this.
I'm jealous.
I am so proud to say that over the last several months, it's taken me, but I've lost 46 pounds. I've gone from a size 20 to a 10.
Yes.
But I'll tell you the best part about this. It's simple.
Yeah.
You can use this in your everyday busy life, and that's where I find when you are at that point getting so hungry because you're so busy, you are able to make good choices that really enable that process to take place, and it's so good too. And I don't ever get hungry, so it's awesome.
That is good.
And I didn't have a lot to lose. I've lost, maybe 8-10 pounds or so in that with it, but I find it extremely beneficial from a maintenance standpoint. But the cool thing of all of this is that the product that undergirds all of this, it's a cardiovascular support product. And this cardiovascular support product, good health is impossible without a healthy heart and circulation, whether that's athletic performance, whether you look at 50% of men over age 40 have erectile dysfunction, you look at 1 in 3 people die of cardiovascular disease. 2/3 of Americans have high blood pressure. The list goes on and on. This product supports all of that.
You said
and yet,
erectile dysfunction?
yeah.
I don't have that problem.
We didn't think so.
I was asking.
That's in the book, right?
Not dysfunctional at all.
Now I'm just wondering, I'm approaching 40, so
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I need to purchase this product
Yes.
to be sure that
We are going to give you
keeps everything in order.
Stays going.
Keep them functional.
Right.
But it's an amazing thing though that what it's done for me is I was very focused as far as cancer, like so many women, but yet it's very interesting that what this has brought is awareness that more women, we are twice as likely to die of heart disease than all cancers combined, and I didn't even know it. I was heading down a slippery slope and I didn't even know it, and I had
We
this
carry
little.
the weight of the world on our shoulders. So
You know what I love about this is it's health focused, which we all need to be in better
Yes.
health and to be focused on that. But this is the ground floor of something really exciting. We all know, every person knows it's better to get in on the ground floor of a networking company, and this is what you're offering today. So if you would like, take a look at the website that's right here on our screen so you can find out more information about how you can get your too. That's incredible. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for and thanks for having us.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, I want to hear more about a foundation that you were involved with. Is that, tell us a little bit why you're connected to going around and helping other women.
Yeah. Well, growing up, I grew up in a very abusive household. My stepfather was addicted to drugs, and he was very abusive, physically abusive toward my mother and my brothers and I. And growing up with that, I found that I kind of took that into my adulthood. My first real boyfriend, he became physically abusive, and I felt like I bought in, I believe, all of the trauma from my family life into my relationship life and attracted that kind of person. So as I got older, and Eddie actually started a foundation that he fostered the autistic abilities in kids, and I thought that was a great idea. I think it's awesome, but I wanted to do something more that I could relate to physically, personally, mentally. So I kind of revamped the foundation to work with and support women and children of domestic violence. And I did that for a while. It was a very, very huge task to take on, because with the group and with having a family, we got married. 20 minutes later, I got pregnant, and then we had like a full-blown family. So everything was on me, and it was really difficult to handle the foundation on my own. So I had to turn it over to some of his partners to kind of facilitate everything for me. But in the meantime, I still support the WYCA in Nashville, as well as Domestic Violence of Nashville. Oh my God, I cannot get my words out. Domestic Violence Prevention Center of Nashville. So I do a lot with them. I speak to a lot of the women about overcoming their issues, about dealing with the pressures and the side effects of domestic abuse. There's so many ways that you carry those emotions with you, and we don't realize it. We harbor them in anger, we harbor them in low self-esteem, we harbor them in just the way we treat ourselves. And you have to be able to focus on those and reprogram those emotions so that they don't damage you later on down the line. Like I said, as I got older, I started dating men who were abusive. I didn't realize I was attracting those men, but I did. And because of that, I noticed it in time, thank God, that I could break that cycle. And I always tell people, everything I went through in my childhood prepared me for my husband. My husband would have never hit me. He would never be abusive, but I had to be able to accept him for what he was and not tag him for something that someone else did to me. So that all of that preparation prepared me to accept him as he is, and I think that's what makes us work so well. Yeah, we go through our ups and downs, but we can work through them without being physically abusive, without being verbally abusive or mentally abusive. We know how to work through those things now. That's another chapter in the book that we talk about. So yeah, I speak to tons of women around the world. I go everywhere. All you have to do is call me. I can give you my story on how I overcame domestic battery and everything else. And I just think that it's a blessing for me to be able to lead people through that forest, because it's not always easy.
Well, you're such a good role model, because just in knowing you this short time, it's hard to believe that that's the kind of life that you grew up with. You seem so strong and so confident and just so relaxed.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, you definitely delivered from that.
Thank
That's amazing. Now, speaking of great marriages, I have your book, and I happen to have a pen too. Do you think you can sign?
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
All right.
I'll sign.
Now, authoring a book, you know, I've done that before, and it's not an easy process. But you did it together.
We did, in our first time. So
Yeah.
we probably should do more. We wrote together but separately, if that makes sense. I would write my chapters because the book speaks on both of our point of views.
Okay.
So
I like
tell
that.
my point of view about the 6 points that we make, and he tells his point of view. And in between, we've had chapters about our life entwined in the book, so that people can see where we came from, how we got there, and why we are the way we are now. And it came out wonderful. We love it.
yay.
Yeah, and it really talks about how you move forward. And the premise is really your own personal development. And, you know, I guess the myth is that you're supposed to make your spouse happy, and you're supposed to, that's your job, but really it's not.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a principle-centered life and you're focused on those principles, and ours is based off of a Christian principle-based life, then your partner will receive the benefits of you living that way.
Absolutely.
And therefore, you're not living for someone, or you're trying to make someone happy. They're receiving the benefits of you being a better you. And that's one of the chapters in here, is really understanding who you are and constantly working on your personal development in your life, and your partner will receive the benefit from that. Your family will, your career will, your finances will, and so forth. So it's very important that people understand that when you jump into a relationship, understand who you are and work on your personal development.
Right.
Don't try to change her. Don't try to change me.
Right.
You know, we're working together, realizing that we do have our flaws, but where's the compromise, and how do we look at that as an opportunity and truly expand the pie?
Oh, I wish everyone would read this.
Yeah, we do too. Right out and
Yes,
get
you
that.
got to get this. That is fantastic. And you can see the way that it works.
Yeah. When he's happy, I'm happy. When I'm happy, he's happy.
Yeah.
So our light can shine on each other without changing each other.
Right.
It's a compromise, but it works when you do it well, and you do it right, and you do it organically.
Yeah, and the thing about marriage is it's never a steady thing. It's always evolving, always moving. It's a balancing act. You have to make certain adjustments. You got to move.
And don't throw in
way.
kids.
I mean, it really is. And one day is different from the next, and 1 year is different from the next. And the only way it works is that if you work it. And one thing that I've learned is love is a verb. It is not a noun. It's something that you do. You know, you have to actually love the person. You have to listen more. You have to be more attentive. It's an action. You just don't say, I'm in love. It's an emotion. You might hate me the next day. But you have to learn to have that action of love through the whatever challenges you're going through. So that's what makes it really unique and exciting. I mean, you learn something about yourself in a relationship if you're really attentive and paying attention to it,
Yeah.
the nuances of it. Yes.
Well, and that's beautiful too, because when you're doing what you need to be doing as a spouse and you're loving the other person, they'll respond to that. And it's
Right.
just this beautiful circle when
Yes.
everyone's
It's
serving
give
the other
and take.
person, loving the other
Right.
person.
It's a
That's incredible.
balance.
I mean, she puts up with me around the house in my
but I knew
speeches.
he was like
Other
that.
things we don't know?
Yeah, I knew he was like that when we started dating. I knew that he wasn't the dishwashing type.
Oh,
I knew
yes.
that he wasn't the pick up his clothes off the floor type or put the toilet seat down type. But he knew I didn't cook very well.
There you go.
He knew that I'm a complainer. I like to complain. So these are all the things that we knew about each other and we
Yes.
accepted from the beginning. I even put it in my vows. I love you because you know I can't cook and you still want to marry me.
But we can work on that. I mean, she's gotten better.
I've
Cooked
gotten
a
better.
lot
I've
of
gotten
healthy
better.
meals.
I
it's
make
been-
Oh,
That's the
nice.
thing that we do now. We've decided to take out all of the allergy foods
Yeah.
and create better meals
Oh,
so that
good.
we can be healthy,
Yes.
our kids can be healthier. Now, if we can keep the pantry clean, things will go so much easier.
And she puts it with my soliloquies around the house,
Yes,
with Shakespeare
yes.
and all that.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, another thing we
Yeah.
don't know about you.
Yeah.
That's one thing. If anybody knows me, they know that I played football. I'm a huge Ohio State fan,
Yes.
and
Rightfully so.
And I love the DJ and all that other stuff. But Shakespeare is something that I absolutely love. I performed in Julius Caesar Nashville Shakespeare Festival 2 years ago.
Really?
Preparing now for
I want to see
Othello.
pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, he
we
was
have
great.
pictures.
He was great. He was so good. We took Eric to see him perform, and when Othello, who was it? Shakespeare dies at the end.
No, it's Julius Caesar.
Julius Caesar,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When Julius Caesar dies at the end, my son is like, "Oh no, they're killing my dad." I said, "It's not daddy, it's just Julius Caesar."
Right.
Wow,
But
that is
the language
impressive.
is so rich. The storytelling is awesome. It's poetry,
Yes.
but it's so poignant and it applies to today's world that we live in. It's amazing. This was written hundreds of years ago, and it's such a wonderful process to go through.
Yeah.
Breaking down the text and internalizing the text.
Really into it.
And bringing it to life
Wow.
and character.
So is this your favorite type of acting, or do
Yes.
you also
No, I
enjoy,
mean,
like,
yeah.
movie acting?
You
Yeah,
have
of
an
course.
acting group, don't you?
I have an acting group, Actors by George in Nashville. We're on our third year, where we
What
get
don't
together.
you do? I just want to know.
Well, the thing is,
There you go.
well, I don't have time to clean. It's between entrepreneurship, entertainment, education, the philanthropic efforts, and it's all intertwined.
Yeah.
And that's what I love to do. So those
Doesn't
are the
get
projects
boring,
we're
does
working on. Well, life it changes.
Yeah.
And once you stop living, you die.
Yeah.
And that's what you transition into various things. You have other passions, and that seed was not developed until after the game, and it just came
Yeah.
out and it flourished out. Yeah.
And I think that was his way of dealing with not playing. He had gone through a little depression right after playing. His routine was broken.
Right.
He was so used to getting up, exercising, playing, doing whatever they do, and somehow he fell on top of acting. Who introduced you to acting?
You know what? It was. I've always had little shows here and there when I played. But I went on a couple of auditions. I really wanted to take it seriously, and the auditions were terrible. So I said, if I'm going to do this,
Do it well.
I'm going to do it well. So I wanted to start in theater because that's
Yes.
the essence. That's where it's real. That's where it's visceral. That's where you get instant feedback. And I started working with an acting coach in Nashville. And for the last 8 years, I've been seeing the same person every
He's dedicated.
day, working on it. So I really enjoy all aspects of it. I truly do. My goal is to perform Shakespeare in the Royal Shakespeare Company in England,
Wow.
and Shakespeare in the park.
He'll do it.
And
We'll have to add that into one of our an
Yeah.
update on you
Yeah,
when you're
he'll
in
do it.
London. Yeah, that's so cool.
and until one day, I'm a huge Charlie Rose fan. I love his
Oh,
interviews.
really?
Is to make it to that desk and also, have a show like that one day.
That would be very cool. Well, thank you two so much for joining
Thank
us.
you.
I feel like I could talk to you forever.
Yes.
And make sure that if you have a Twitter account, definitely check them out on Twitter.
Yes.
And if you would like to find out more about our celebrity guests, you can check us out on Twitter at C Shop TV.